Yeah, madam, you can start now. Yeah.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting now, restarting now. Okay, the first day, you will start your trek from Naya Pool, where you'll meet your support staff. And the first day's trek is to a place called Tikedunga, which is a leisurely trek of about 3 or 4 hours. You start by crossing the suspension bridge. You are trekking along the Modir Khola, the Modir River, and you're surrounded by these verdant hills. Um, your first stop within an hour will be at a place called Biritanti, where you are officially entering the Annapurna conservation area. You will need to have your permits checked here, and then you can continue. You will notice that this building is very quaint. In the Annapurna conservation area, you cannot use concrete. You need to use only wood and stone, and there is a height restriction also. You cannot go beyond the first story. And as you go higher in this on this trek, you'll see that it's only the ground floor which is there. So you'll find this kind of quaint little tea houses all along on this trek. There are these tea houses spaced at a distance of about 1.5 hours. So you can stop for tea, you can stop for lunch, and ultimately stop for the night in one of these tea houses. The unique feature of this is there is no advance booking. Like, even though I know I'm going to go from Biritanti to Tikedunga, I'm going to spend the night in Tikedunga, I cannot call in advance and book my room in one of these places. You can book only once you get there. And so it's on a first come, first serve basis. And the rooms are basic bed and blankets they'll give you. There are also, you can also take a shower, but you'll need to pay for it. And you can either take individual rooms, you can take shared rooms, or you can take a dorm. Whatever is available at that point, you will have to take. And there may be several such tea houses in one such place, but there is no difference in the prices of the rooms or of the food. All of them at a particular place are at the same rate, so that there is no competition between the locals to attract crowds and so on. And the food that is available in all these tea houses is a large variety. You can get the Nepalese dal bhat and some basic vegetables, or you can get pizzas and cakes and so on. So it caters to a variety of trekkers, especially the Western trekker. And they're all clean, very basic, but very clean. And if you don't get a room, you can sleep in the dining room, but and you pay a nominal fee for that. So the dining room is a common area where everybody has dinner, and then you can sit around and chat and play cards or listen to music, read, whatever. And later in the night, people who have rooms will go away, and the rest of them can sleep in the dining room. So if there is no room available, you can make use of that facility also. And this is a very nice arrangement for interaction with other trekkers. You have people from all over the world doing this trek. So you meet all kinds of people in these dining rooms. And I met a British who was trekking alone and with minimum luggage. He had a very small backpack with just one change of clothes, and he was doing the Annapurna circuit, and then he had started doing the base camp trek. All he had was a backpack, and typical of a Britisher, he just had an umbrella with him. And so a lot of people do this on a shoestring budget also, and they sleep in these dorms or in these dining rooms. And another interesting couple that I met, they were both 80 plus, but they were doing this trek with their grandson. And the funniest part of it was they overtook us at some point and we didn't meet them again. So you meet all kinds of people. So that's it's a very good experience to stay in these tea houses. So all these creature comforts are brought there on the backs of local men and women who come from the local villages of Nepal. They carry these huge loads. They don't have shoes. They don't have proper clothes. They are in tatters, and the women are sometimes accompanied by small children. And they carry these huge loads and bring them to these tea houses so that we can have all these comforts. And yeah, you will see these people trekking along with you. They will, with these huge loads, they'll overtake you, and it provides them employment, but you can also see how hard their lives are in these places. All right, so and all through first day you're along the Mudirkola, and then you see these waterfalls and so on. We stopped at a place called Tikedunga, another quaint little tea house besides the stream. So this is the first day at Tikedunga, where we stopped for the night. The next day, we moved from Tikedunga to Gorepani. Tikedunga is at about 1,500 meters. Gorepani is nearly 3,000 meters. And you will be trekking along the hills like this. This is your path. You can see these suspension bridges. At some points, you're descending. At other points, you'll be going up these hills and so on. So this is the kind of terrain that you will have throughout. And when we started from Tikedunga, we had to climb about a steep hill of about 3,000 plus steps to a place called Ulreli. But on the way, we have these wonderful views of Annapurna, and it makes it all worthwhile. And on the way, you can stop at these tea houses for tea. Every 1.5 hours, you have these tea houses where you can stop for tea and snacks and so on. And you're surrounded by these hills. We trekked in October, but despite it, it was quite cloudy and warm in these lower beaches. This is a place called Bantanti where we stopped, and this place. And you can also buy, they have these trinkets and so on that they sell at these tea houses. You can buy woolen caps and socks and some little trinkets which the women make. These tea houses are essentially run by the women. They do the cooking and the cleaning and the maintaining of these tea houses, whereas the men work as guides and porters. Okay, from this place, from Bantanti, it is another 2 hours to a place called Gorepani. This is lower Gorepani. From there, you'll have to climb if you want to reach upper Gorepani. We stayed in upper Gorepani. Gorepani has these amazing views of the Annapurna range. You don't have to go anywhere. You just look out of your window, and this is the kind of view that you'll have. This is Annapurna South. It was cloudy that afternoon when we reached, but it cleared up the next morning. And the next morning, you will trek to a place known as Poon Hill, which is a viewpoint. You can see in this slide itself, they are advertising Poon Hill. So from Gorepani, it is about a 2-hour steep trek. You will have to start by about 4 a.m. in the morning, and because you want to reach by the time the sun rises, you want to reach Poon Hill. And at Poon Hill, once it clears up, once the sun rises and the mist clears, these are the views that you will have. On the left, you have Dhavalagiri in 8,000 meter. And then as you look towards the right, this is Annapurna South, Hinchuli, and on this side is, further to the right is Machapuchari. And you can spend about a couple of hours here, go back to Gorepani for breakfast, and then start the day's trek. Early morning, from Poon Hill, you can see the flight from Pokhara to Jomsom. There are these small flights in Nepal which take you to a place called Jomsom, and this is a flight. I made a small video. You can take a look at it. This is Machapuchari on the screen right now. This is the tiny aircraft which is going past Machapuchari, Hinchuli, Annapurna South, finally Annapurna. In the morning, you can see several of these flights. Because in the afternoon, the wind picks up and it is difficult for them to make these flights. This flight flies between the mighty Annapurna and Dhavalagiri. It enters the valley between Annapurna and Dhavalagiri. And please tell me what that valley is called. Balaji, can we stop the recording?